by not paying any attention, meaning don't give the police any media at all. Donut operator will be the first to fall. So there'll be no attention. Once someone loses attention and someone loses, they get out of the limelight, then they don't exist anymore. And then we'll go into utopia. And it's prophesized that we go into utopia. That's been prophesized. So when you empower the police by putting them on media, making them look like heroes, then they're going to continue doing what they're doing. But if you pretend like they're not there, then they lose hope. And if they lose hope, then they stop doing what they're doing, and then we go to utopia. Now it's gonna be a bad thing for some. Everybody wants to be in the limelight. Everybody wants to be in the attention. Every police officer on the force wants to be on donut operator. But you take away the donut operator and he stops doing it. Let's say the donut operator starts doing donut shops instead of the police force, right? Which he won't get as many views, but he could probably still survive doing that. When you empower a certain person, like let's say someone had a channel where they empowered gang members. Those are usually scattered channels that are not organized, right? And they're probably going to continue being gang members as long as they have their rap music, as long as they have all the things that say that this makes me famous, this makes me a star. It goes the same way with the police. So once those things go away, then we'll start going into utopia, right? When we start vlogging or the media is mostly on good things, on good people. Sports are fine. There's nothing wrong with being a sports star. There's nothing wrong with being a movie star as long as you don't do drugs, right? An Olympic star, as long as your job that you're doing does not hurt other people, then you're okay. Or that job does not imprison other people or put other people behind bars like an animal, like in a cage, then you're fine. You're fine to do what you want to do. But once it starts messing with people's civil liberties and taking away their rights as a human being, that job needs to be abolished from the earth. And once that happens, we'll go to utopia. So don't empower bad things. Don't glamorize things that are bad. Try to only glamorize things that are good, like Hurricane Harbor. And good things, like baseball games. Let's say hot dogs, people. Children you got to be careful with because you got to have contracts and stuff to interview children and stuff. So you can't really glamorize children per se. Although Spielberg's really good at it, like what he did with Heather O'Rourke and Poltergeist. So like what I'm trying to say is don't glamorize violence, right? Don't glamorize when people are distressed and out of control, or they'll think it's a good thing. Does that make sense? See, Hollywood is actually changing. Movies are changing. We're not in the 1970s anymore. We're in 2022. So don't glamorize violence and smut, and then people will not adhere to that. People will not depend on that, right? Don't glamorize the police. There will be a point in this channel where I won't talk about them anymore, right? Because they don't know they're wrong yet. And eventually when they lose hope, they'll stop being what they are. And that'll go away. Now, I'm not saying crime's going to go away like that, but I'm a strong believer that crime will not cease until police turn in their badge and their guns and their assault rifles, and they turn in all that stuff. I'm a strong believer that it will not go away until the authority figures and the government goes away. Because utopia, there won't be a government. All utopia is basically peace. There's no money. There's no law. There's no need to have law. Because everybody is doing the things that they want to do. Meaning everybody, like this person's a vlogger and he gets to vlog. This person's an actor and he gets to act. This person's a filmmaker and he gets to be a filmmaker. This person over there makes cars because they love cars and they get to make cars. Everybody gets to do the things that they love to do. And no one complains. No one's upset. No one's upset that person over there is a Buddhist and that person over there is a Christian and that person over there is, sorry, I'm just warning that guy because I'm trying to, but that person over there is celebrates Judaism or whatever it is. That person over there loves Jesus. Not everybody is going to do the same thing that everybody else does, kind of thing. I'll have to go with that one. What I'm trying to say is that we glamorize things that are violent and bad, and that impels people to continue to be bad, right? So, hey, so-and-so did this, and then it becomes glamorized. So other people think, oh, well, I can do that too, and I'll be in the limelight. And that's not true. It's not true. Because not all photographers, or not all, I guess paparazzi is a bad term. I don't like that term, paparazzi. But not all people that want to tell a story or capture the world and be documentarians are going to capture violence and evil things. They're not all going to do that. They're going to edit that out. And when we start doing that in our heads, then it goes away. But we can't empower them. We don't want to empower gang members or the police to do bad things, right? Donut operator will come to a conclusion when he stops smoking marijuana, because I know that he smokes marijuana, and he could not do the things that he does and make 1 million hits each view, things like that, if he was not on drugs. That's why I'm 100% sure that he is. He won't admit to it, but he is. The reason why is because there's no way that he could show that much violence without being on drugs. You can't show people kill other people without being on drugs. Just like you can't kill other people without being on drugs. Because if you're under the influence of God, and that's sobriety almost to a certain extent, I put it on a pedestal. I put sobriety on a pedestal because I feel that everybody that's sober is under the influence of God in some form or fashion. Then he would look at his material and go, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. And he would stop. Because it's wrong. It glamorizes violence. It glamorizes people that do methamphetamine and kill other people, whether it be someone with a badge or someone that's just a gang member. He still glamorizes both. Because he laughs about it and he empowers those people to hurt one another. It's just like the arena. When we fill in the dirt of the arena, when we say no more, like the Romans did eventually. Remember the Romans, they put people out there with swords and they'd chop their heads off and everyone would cheer. Yay, give me some more grapes. I'd like some more wine. I'd like to watch that person chop their head off. No, that's road warrior kind of stuff. That's glamorized. It's glamour, right? It's vanity. And people would go out there and kill themselves for the crowd. Or they'd go out there and fight for the crowd. And that's evil. So once we fill in the dirt of the Colosseums and get rid of glamorizing violence, and we shield it so our children can't see it, then it'll go away. Yeah, could you mind shutting the door just for a second? Oh, I gotta take a photo of this. Thanks, appreciate it. Cobblestone. These are nice flowers. It's nice to have little flowers like that outside your place. All in all, what I usually say is you can't fake music and you can't fake ballet. But you certainly can't fake ballet. You could fake some of the music. But you certainly can't get up there and dance and fake it. They'll catch that quick. Some of the music, they're like, is that good? And people are like, yeah, it's kind of good. But with ballet, could you imagine Chris Farley trying to do ballet? It just wouldn't work, you know. They're like, is that ballet? And people would go, no, it's not ballet. Chris Farley don't ballet. Why I'm saying that is because Linda calls me a ballet dancer. And let me tell you, I've taken ballet classes. I have. I've taken several ballet classes at UNT. I took ballet from Margot Dean. The only reason I took ballet was for one reason only. James Dean took ballet, but that was the only reason. But I almost got put in a ballet on The Grinch That Stole Christmas. I was going to play the Grinch in a ballet. I actually almost did one. But at the last minute, she chose somebody else. So I never really did a ballet show. Now, I did do mime. I did mime shows. That's true, but not a whole lot. But I did do some. One thing that you don't really ever see that often really is ballet. Like when the ballets come into town. I used to actually, we'd go to like the Nutcracker and things like that. I'm sure it's around. But you know what? There's nothing more beautiful in this world than a ballet dancer, like a lady ballet dancer, like up there doing ballet. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful art. Then the guy comes out and he's all bulging and stuff. You kind of have to like turn your eyes away. But the female ballet dancers, now that is like probably the most beautiful thing that you could probably, But like I always said, if I ever came back again, if I was reincarnated, I'd be reincarnated as a ballet dancer. That way I can dance with all those beautiful women. That'd be great. I'm gonna try it now. I'm like almost 50. The thing about ballet dancers is that they only last for so long. That's the sad thing about it. You can't do ballet for very long. You got to find something else after a while. Ooh, sailboats. Sailboats are beautiful. This is actually a reservoir lake or some kind of lake next to this place called Viridian. They actually have sailboats out on the lake. Is that not amazing? Look at that. They're sailing on a lake in Arlington. It actually works. There's enough area, or there's enough stuff for good wind for a sailboat. There's 2 sailboats that are out there. There's one, and there's the other one right over there. There's like a statue over there, right there. Some kind of Greek thing or something. Yeah, leave a comment if anything strange happened today. September 11th, so leave a comment. It's a weird little gate right there. I like this thing. It's kind of cool to have outside your housing complex. I don't know, sometimes there's little things that will make a lot of difference, when you move into a place and they've got like fountains and people spent time to decorate, where you live, so they appreciate who you are. They got a little map, just in case you get lost. You got a little Viridian Life map. And this little pool, just say, hey, don't forget, you can go swimming, that kind of thing. Then you're really taken care of, You feel like these people really care about me, And when I go home, I feel like a king, or a queen, or a princess, or whatever it is, or a prince, whatever it is that they make you feel like. This is kind of like a really nice place.
You was on Friday, it was like this was. I'm like, oh, what is wrong with you? It's like, I can't. She got out the car, like, oh, like, you know what
Marco's Pizza, the guy had me waiting there for like 10 minutes. All these other homies came in and he gave them the order and everything. I was sitting there and I gave him the name. But the order was sitting there the entire time, so I waited 10 minutes. It was already completed. So I told him, I said, don't worry about it, you'll learn. And he got real mad. What do you mean? I said, don't worry about it, you'll learn. You'll learn. He was like, what? So he had me sitting there for 10 minutes for whatever reason. I was trying to tell him that he's gonna learn about that reason. These reason why I said he'll learn is because I was the only one sitting there. There was no one else in the restaurant. The order was ready. I also told him it's a DD order. So I said the name of the company. Was the first thing I did was say the name of the company. He just had me sitting there. He knew what was going on. So that's what I told him. That's why I said, you'll learn. Because if you know and you have a delivery guy just sitting there and you know that's them, but you don't tell them on purpose to hurt them, then you learn. And you learn not to do that. You learn to help and think for others. If someone else has like a problem or something, you learn to say, wait a minute, this order goes to that person, and you're the first to tell them. That's the whole idea behind Christianity and Jesus Christ. That's what he taught us to be. We race to help other people. Meaning we race. We hurry to help other people. So we hurry, and then you're like, oh, that's your order. That's your order, right? That's the type of Christian that learns to help others. It makes me mad when they have me just sitting there and they have the order behind the counter, which they're not really supposed to do that. They're supposed to put the order out in front where we can see it. It's because it happens quite often. And so they can lag the order by 2 or 3 minutes, or they can lag the order by 10 minutes, and that hurts us. So he wanted to hurt others rather than help. Because he would have it out there ready to go, say, this is a so-and-so order, or this is a so-and-so order. He would never have an order just sitting there, especially if someone was already just sitting there. That's just a big waste of time. So he probably thinks less of all his deliveries and all his delivery workers. And he'll learn one day it'll dawn on him. He'll go, wow, I didn't know it was that important. And then he changes and takes something small and minute, like Uber Eats or whatever it may be, right? DD, whatever DD means to you. And then he realizes that, wow, that was very important to that person. And I did not consider, oh, there's a cool car in there. I didn't consider their feelings. That's a really cool car right there. Next to the bumper over there. See right there? See? Isn't that a cool car? Like an old car. Isn't that cool? Isn't that something? Isn't that cool? I'll tell you how stupid this world really is, really. If I go out and buy a typewriter and I type up this play with a typewriter, they're probably going to take the play. They'll probably make it to Broadway. It probably will. Just because I used a typewriter. That, my friend, is stupid. But that's how the world is. They're like, he wrote the play on a typewriter? Go get Tom Hanks. And he would show up, he'd do the play in some form or fashion because it was written on a typewriter. That's how specific they are. And that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to write up the play on a typewriter. He's going to want to know what type of typewriter I used, and he'll probably do the play. Isn't it sad? It's sad. It's a sad situation. That's what I'm going to do. It's sad. And I'm probably going to have this stuff playing in the background sometimes when I type it to get the dialogue.